go, Fat Tracker, go, go, go.
The Kelpie Fat Track Pod, brought to you by Kelpie, affordable race products designed to help you stay on track. Now onto the episode.
We are very proud to introduce you to our new pod partner, Europa Fencing. With a vast range of commercial fencing experience on large farming properties and corporate farms in central and western Victoria, Europa Fencing offer excellent communication and attention to detail to help you get the results you need. All the details can be found at eurokafencing.com, so check them out. Once again, that web address is eurokafencing.com, or find them on Facebook under the same name, Europa Fencing. Yeah, awesome. So g'day everyone, another Kelpie Flat Track pod. It's been a little bit, we were away last weekend at Undera. I've got Brendan with me. Interrupted us Friday night, and it's a cold one, isn't it, mate? So thought we'd have a chat, and I was meant to do this all week, but with the Kelpie Cup sort of being a late release, and I've been running around trying to do things for that, only for it to be cancelled, which was we were just talking off air about that, and it was sort of expected, but we gave it a crack anyway, and I feel for the club because this isn't so, through life we mainly see the end result of things. This has been in the pipes for a while, and it just there was hurdle, and they thought we were over them, and then there was more, and the release date didn't sort of pan out how it was meant to be, but that's how it goes sometimes. So round one won't be running one, but we're just going to move straight into round two. I'm not going to try and start it new somewhere else. Cara definitely committed. They're 100% on board, and so we've got a month to advertise that, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to getting it going and giving guys that are 19 base interested somewhere else to ride, and rather than just the AFTN and some other clubs around the place, especially on the granite tracks. I would say probably more likely don't really promote the 19 side of stuff so much. So it'll be good to get some of those happening. Obviously the oil tracks, they always welcome 19s and that, and they perform pretty well on there. But getting back to last weekend, Brendo, what did you reckon?
Yeah, it was good. It was super laid back, but I don't know, everyone just kind of had a good time. We had a good crew there, and so speedway track on the Saturday night. That was fun. And then the only downside, I suppose, was that we couldn't ride until 1 on the Sunday. So there was a bit of waiting around on Sunday morning. But other than that, no, it was fun.
Well, that sort of worked anyway, because you guys watched the GP, and I didn't really watch GP. I'm not sure what I did in that time.
We were all just wandering around. We had grand plans to go for a big bike ride, and that didn't happen. So.
Ty Darkin and Ben Mundy stole the pushies for a little bit, and went out and had a wheelie competition on the track, I think.
That must have been before I got up, was it?
No, I think you went to the shops or something.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So
got a coffee.
So they did a bit of that, but
did Ben win?
I don't really know what I did. That weekend was awesome. It was like you said, it was it was on the bikes, but it was like a weekend off. Like
it was
for you with the club and all that, you're always running around, especially on Harley Club days and stuff, and preoccupied with all the sort of running of the meeting and going on and trying to race for yourself. At the Harley Club meetings, I'm sort of either racing or I'm there commentating or I'm promoting the products, and people are wanting stuff, and so I don't know, it's a little bit more hectic. It's
always nice,
a little bit more like a job in a way,
but it's nice to go to other clubs meeting where you can just ride.
Or last weekend I should say was just 100% just enjoy riding, relaxing, and I really loved it. I love that speedway track. It's probably one of the closest things to an indoor size circuit that I've ridden on, apart from in my backyard here in Australia. And really short, pretty tight radius, the corners. And as Jesse Davies came up, and as he said when they went and watched was it a Oz Champions or this?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
He said it's a gnarly track for racing. Like, it was
Yeah.
pretty. I can imagine, 6 to 8 bikes for the spectator. It would be fantastically entertaining.
Yeah. It'd be good. Hopefully we can get some races there happening. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so that's sort of how it came about, isn't it? Because the Undera, it's actually Golden Valley Motorcycle Club, reached out to you to come and have a look at the dirt track because they want to get that reinstated. And the Speedway's licensed, he said, didn't it, Rob?
Well, yes, apparently, yeah.
Yeah, so that's licensed, so they can race on there. But the dirt track, they can get a temporary license, I believe, once they've done a couple mods to it.
Yeah, so that'll be for practice days. I don't know what'll happen in terms of race days there, but that might be 12 months down the track, or who knows. But it'd just be good, even if it takes a while to get any more tracks we can have to race on, the better.
Yeah, and I actually, in the condition it is in, I actually quite enjoyed it. It was, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a potential for a couple extra lines in on the grassy section.
yeah, apparently.
Which, apparently I was cheating, but that's definitely not. It was definitely a race line. That's not.
Yeah, definitely just cutting the corner on the inside.
It was just overgrown. That's
okay. Yeah. Got sick of eating dirt.
No, the dirt track's awesome. It's definitely a lot more different than anywhere else I've ridden in Victoria, just because the surface isn't a deliberate sand.
You didn't ride at Mount Beauty? You haven't ridden there?
No, I haven't actually. Yeah, you guys said it was similar to that, didn't it? Yeah.
And just in the way that, because it's just dirt and there's no granite, it's when you water it, it's like ice, and then when it's not wet, it gets dusty. So it's kind of like you need to, I don't know, rip it up a bit so it can take some water.
Yeah. Which excuse me. Yeah, they said they'd give that a crack. So
they seemed open to try everything, so that was good. Super friendly.
And that's part of the reason we were there. So we had a small crew to ride the track and have a look around the dirt track facility side and suggest any suggestions. So there'll be a new start grid area going in, and some temporary fences and stuff, I think, and so they can comply. But all in all, I think make it a little bit wider.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to hold races, definitely a bit wider.
Yeah, a little bit wider, and I love that it's quite technical. Like that right hand is probably one of the tightest. Like you stated, I can't compare with Mount Beauty and that, but Mount Beauty's a multi-turn long track, isn't it?
Well, it's still got two main left-handers and a right-hander. It's got just a big kind of kink down the straight.
Oh, okay.
So it's still the same kind of layout, but just a little bit different shape of the same, and it's fast there. Like that's what's so cool about that track. Just the layout of it. I hate the dirt there, but the layout's fun.
But when you were there at Mount Beauty, you were on 2118.
Yeah.
You think the 19s might have been better?
I don't know. I think it's the same. It was the same. How if you hit a wet spot, it was super slick, so it's hard to. Yeah. Obviously, that's just comes down to the rider not picking the bad lines, but it definitely could have suited 19s probably pretty good, just because it's hard base. So it probably worked all right.
So the guys up at Undera were sort of freaking out with their 21-19, going, the 19s will be heaps better, and I think it was pretty even.
Yeah, well, I honestly, like walking the track and seeing it, I thought 19s were going to be way better on it, but I think like the 18-21's probably on par with it, but it's just eating tires. Like I didn't have a look at anyone's Mitchies after it, but they probably would have been fairly worn. I think Dan was saying his was pretty chewed up after the Saturday night on the speedway track. So Whereas my 19 still looked pretty good. So
yeah, well, going back to the speedway track, that's actually what do they call it? Clay rock. So it's not actually sand granite. So that's a sort of clay based stuff too. And it was pretty hard, and but it was weird because it was skatey that first session. That was super skatey.
I didn't find that in the first one.
Didn't you? When it was dry, I thought it was pretty skatey. And then when they put some water in it, it was fine. And that's when I thought, well, we sort of were going, is it going to be even worse? Or
it looked, because like normally when you can see water sitting on the track and it doesn't soak in, you think it's going to be like ice. But even with 19s, like if you're coming out of a corner and hit a wet spot, normally it would just sort of kick you, but it didn't do any of that. I was like, and it felt grippier when it was wet than when it was dry. So
it was, so that was surprising, and it was fun. Like once you didn't really want to go out too wide. I mean, it was doable. A few guys did do it, and but sticking. Once I figured out I could stay in third and where to back off so that I would slide to where I wanted to be back on the power. It was heaps of fun. It was really good. And you didn't get hammered with roost, which
no, it was not too bad. And one thing that kind of surprised me is I always like to do practice starts, and I'm especially on dirt, because dirt starts because it's always so different. I'm sort of trying to get my head around it. And every time, especially on 19s doing a dirt start, it just spins up heaps. But I don't know if it was something about the dirt at Undera, but it was just like it was hooking up off the line. So whole shot button in, and the front was still lifting a little bit. So to get that much drive on 19s on a speedway track is pretty good.
Yeah. So was that on the short track? Was it on the oval?
Yeah. I didn't actually. I did a couple on the dirt track, and that was pretty much the same. Probably almost not even as grippy, I reckon, after doing a start. So
well, the one that I only did one up the back where we were proposing that new start line come in.
Did you do it on the grass area, like?
Yeah. And so coming off the grass onto the dirt, my front wheel lifted right up.
Yeah.
It really
the
grabbed.
Transition would probably be smoother than that. Up and going there.
But it really lifted up, and I was, even when it was wet, it certainly was a little bit scary. But if you trailed the back brake, it was actually, 5 laps later, you'd be taking your foot off the brake and not needing it because it's drying out. So it was just those first few laps. And it was the same for 21-18 because I was following Ty and that, and they were all being pretty cautious as well.
Yeah, well, I went out on Taylor's bike after water, and it was, I reckon, worse than my bike, even, surprisingly. So it was just like riding on eggshells. So that it was not the tyre choice that made it slippery. So I mean, maybe down the track they can invest in something that to combine in with that soil there, so that it doesn't do that, or maybe just working it and ripping it, they might find that it doesn't do it as much. That would be a little bit of experimenting, but exactly right.
And it's funny because I was talking to the track prep guy there, and what happens here is, because it's very similar to and what happens here is, if it's really dry and you get a whole lot of rain, but only in like say in half an hour, 2 hours or something like that, if you get a whole lot of rain in that time, it all sits on the top. But if you get a whole lot of rain over, say, a day or 2 days, it actually soaks in all the way through. And is more rideable, and you don't have that greasy bit on the top for some reason. And it's weird. There's a real fine line between good and scary.
Exactly. So, and to make it a racetrack, that's what makes it hard, because you don't have time to if the track's a little bit too wet, we've got to wait to let the water sink in and stuff like that. So, and then if you imagine doing, say 12 bikes going into turn 1 and the track's real greasy, it's just kind of a recipe for disaster, really. So
well, it's funny because actually up at Cowra, I went up to Cowra what was it? It was getting near the feature races, and somehow I got in a feature race. It was just so I think they just pick people out of a hat, and it was super sketchy, like really,
really?
slippery like that. Yeah, like Corey Booth, that he could half lap me, and I was sitting behind him, and he was, he's all over
right.
like that too. And I can't remember the girl's name, but she flew around us, and I'm going, take it easy. I wouldn't be doing that. I didn't realize it was her at the time. I wouldn't be doing that. And sure enough, binned it and really hurt herself.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That corner. But it was just, it had that layer on top. It just, and I don't know why, because the rest of the day it didn't do that.
No, and honestly, like when the track's like that and you've just got to tiptoe around it, it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of takes away some of the excitement of the racing because no one's going fast and everyone's just fighting for survival rather than actually battling and stuff. So if you can avoid that, it's best.
And more so on 19s. The hard thing with that is like you've actually got to go fast.
Yeah, you got to keep the wheels.
It gets worse.
Yeah,
because the tread falls up and doesn't clear. If you can keep good speed up, it actually flicks out and you actually have better traction. But to have the nerve to do that,
exactly right. Yeah,
it's hard. It's really hard. But it does work.
More seat time on them too.
Yeah, it's just you can't tip it in like you normally would. You have to sort of squeeze the tank and roll it round, but roll it round fast enough so the front wheel doesn't fill up.
Yeah,
front tread doesn't fill up. It's a different game, I think.
Yep.
But so did you were asking me when the next round of the AFT was, the American racing, and it actually was that weekend.
It was on the weekend, yeah. I saw results for it.
Yeah, did you see any of it?
No, I actually put it on the other day. I just started watching some of the practice qualifying, but I didn't get around to watching any of the racing.
Yeah, Sonora it is, and oh man, what an awesome track! Like the racing was amazing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really amazing. Like I think it really showed the skill of the riders.
Yeah,
and it's just one of those. Like so in the mains and in the Super Twin, they were just battling for first. They gapped the rest of the field, but just one would be up and behind and then cut down underneath, and
right.
It was pretty amazing to watch actually, and it just looked so slick. Young Tom Jane had a bit of a moment in the main. He was looking really good, and then bloody did an awesome job to stay on, I think.
Yeah, right.
But he dropped right back. I saw a comment on either Insta or Facebook that he was just battling with wheel spin and that sort of stuff. But
okay.
But he was looking really good until after that. I think he dropped from second or third to about fifth, and then went from there to like 12th or something.
Well, yeah, when I like the timed qualifying I was watching, he was second overall. So
the rest of the time he rode really well. And listening, so Corey Texter has been punching out a lot of podcasts, and listening to his track changed a fair bit over the few days that they had racing on it. Yeah, but they all sort of agree that it was a really good racy track. And the great thing with it was that being a clay track, it wasn't one lined. If you look at it, it's just this big, wide, glossy track. It wasn't just a bike width, So cool. You had people running the high line and the low line, and you have to jump on Fan Choice and check it out.
Yeah, I think there's another one this weekend. Is there?
Yeah, so the TT Arizona we're talking about.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Apparently, it's not titled the Super TT this year, but so it's just Arizona, and they've changed the layout. So that sounds interesting.
Yeah, okay.
But we're possibly catching up for a ride on Sunday. If you can get away a little bit earlier, I'll probably be watching it. So
yeah,
can come and watch it, and
Yeah.
we can hydrate before riding or something while watching.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So, what's on the cards next for you?
Funny, every time someone asks me that, I'm like, I honestly don't know. I think the next race is until the end of April, like 23rd is the next Harley Club race, and then we're going away. So I missed the following weekend, and so it sort of doesn't start up properly, and it's all just club stuff. Nothing starts up properly until I think first weekend of June's New South Wales titles. So hopefully we get to that. That'll be the first big meeting, well, second big meeting of the year after Bathurst. But so that's what I'm kind of more looking forward to. Club stuff's cool, kind of get the gate drops in and all that. But keen for the big ones.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it to the showgrounds up at Tamworth.
No, I don't think so either. When was that, May or something?
Yeah, May. I'd love to, but I don't. Yeah, I think with all that's going on behind the scenes at the moment, I just I've got to pull up
hard.
a little bit.
Can't make everything.
Yeah, and as I announced to you the other day, I'm throwing in a sneaky little trip to New Zealand, and so that's courtesy of my mum actually. So to go and see some relatives and that are getting older and all that, which is awesome because I've been wanting to do that, and it sort of just happened to fit in. So and there's possibly a race happening on a Sunday there as well. So I'll let you all know if we do that, and definitely post stuff about it. But it's pretty promising. So it'll be good to throw a leg over in New Zealand and have a ride around Speedway track there.
That'd be good.
So that's
very jealous of that one.
Yeah, sorry, one moment. I'm just in the middle of a podcast. Are you guys all right? Yeah, they'll be good. Just keep the dogs in, you'll be fine. I think so. All right, love. I've got to go. Yeah, it's all good. It's all sorted. Cheers. Bye.
I'm assuming you'll cut that bit out.
Oh no, we'll leave that in. So you know that I have a chaotic life, and if I didn't answer that, it would have rung about 80 times. That's my middle daughter who's very persistent. So, our guest, the guest in the cottage have arrived a bit late tonight, and just wanted to make sure everything's all good. So
cool.
That should be all good. They should be happy, and what we were talking about, I can't remember.
The next race.
Yeah, New Zealand. So my next race will probably be New Zealand.
Yeah, right.
I think. Nice. Yeah, which is April the 23rd. It's the same as the
Harley. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I actually was thinking, so did we talk about the first round of Kelpie Cup not going this weekend? Yeah. So it was meant to be this weekend. I was thinking about, maybe I can throw it on the Harley Club and see if we can do that before Cara, but it would have been too close to Cara then anyway, and plus I'm not in the country, so that's not
yeah.
So
that doesn't work.
So so some real good things with the Kelpie Cup. Like I've got some novelty checks made up, I've got some banners made up. It's going to be pretty cool. So if you haven't been on our website and read the actual page, which has been updated the game, you can see all the tyres you can use on there. So there's no great restrictions apart from like any dirt track meeting. You can't use a motocross tyre on the rear. You can have a 19 block tyre on the back. You can use K180s on the front and back if it suits the track better. You could use like adventure tyres, that sort of pattern too. Trials tyre, speedway tyre, American tyres 1919 if you've got 19s and want to come and race on them. And I actually I really believe that it'll be very even racing, even with such a wide choice. The reason I've done it like that is I love strategics and strategic sort of stuff. I'm useless at chess, but I like checkers and all that other sort of stuff. So you can definitely use them to your advantage. and try different things, experiment a little bit. So that's why it's sort of like that, to make it a little bit more open and inclusive as well to new riders that might not have gone out and invested in a total 19 American sort of setup. And it also gives those guys that have done that another group to race in and the potential to win some cash and help fund their racing. And obviously the major prize, joining our pro riders next year. I think that's a pretty awesome prize. I don't know about you, Brendan. You're a pro rider at the moment. How's it going? You reckon it's a good thing?
It's it'd be awesome. Just another level of support and help to get to all the big ones, because I think the AFTN is going to be sort of the main series. So if you can help get to every round of that, it's always going to help.
Yeah, and it's not going to be it is going to be the series. It's not the main series.
Well,
it's going to become the flat track championships in Australia. So
exactly.
That's what we're hoping. And the Kelpie Cup was always in the works even before I met Dave and that. And to be totally transparent, I actually wanted to do what Dave's doing, but I'm glad he's done it, because he's doing a lot better job than I reckon I could have. And so I sort of hummed and hawed about the Kelpie Cup. Should I still bother doing it? All that sort of stuff. But I think it would be a good little feeder. And if it doesn't get the support, then it will stop. It's
exactly right,
as simple as that. So if you guys listening, want these things to happen and want to race for money and earn a bit of money to cover fees and that. And I know at club level, like say if Aubrey went ahead, even if you had to pay for a membership, that was one of the problems they were having behind the scenes. You had to be a club member. So anyway, even if you had to do that, I think it would have cost you $100.
Yeah.
And if you win in our class plus another, because you could have, if you were on a 19-inch setup, you could still go and race in the 450 class, and even on 19s, you can still race in the other classes.
Yeah.
But you had the opportunity of covering your entry. If you got in the top three, if you got one or two, you make a bit of extra. If you got you walk away covering your entry. So
exactly.
I think that's a big help. I know it's only 3 spots. It can only be 3 people, but
not everyone can win.
I mean, it's still a bit of an incentive in my view. And then the grand prize of becoming one of our riders. I can't say obviously on here the exact earnings that each rider gets paid, but they're all paid the same across the board. But it more than covers the entry fee, and probably doesn't cover your trip at this stage. But if you buy lots of tires, you guys, then we can help with this. So buy lots of tires.
The more tires you get, the more everyone gets paid.
The more tires, and the more not just the more you guys get paid, the more opportunities we can provide.
Exactly. Yeah.
I really want to do a youth program too. So at the moment we've been focused mainly on senior competition, and that's only because it ties into the professional element, especially with overseas and that sort of thing. And that's what I really believe needs to happen here, is we need to have a professional circuit, and that will attract, as we've talked about heaps on lots of pods, will attract overseas interest to having riders come here and just join that industry altogether and make it a huge industry, which it already is, but we're probably, we're probably not noticed so much at the moment. You already sort of see it happening with the DTRA and light riders going over there and spending time in England, and Johnny Lewis has been over there and done coaching clinics and that sort of things. And The Voice, Scotty Dougal has gone over there and did announcing last year at the end of the season, along with Jeffrey Carver Jr. went over there racing, and it's just starting to bind together a little bit more. And a lot of those UK races have started to go over and compete in the AFT, and really want to see that happen here, because it just makes our industry bigger and more opportunities, and everyone starts scratching each other's back and money starts moving around, and I think the opportunities will come, and so that's sort of the big picture to where we're aiming to go. But if you guys don't support it, then it's just going to be 2118 dirt track forever. Club level, a little bit of money and a championship status, which I'm sure getting the medallion's an awesome thing, but to me, I think there needs to be a professional money element in it. Just the danger we put ourselves in and everything, and the effort that people go through. I think a bigger reward would be good, but that's only my opinion.
No, that's it.
So the Harley Club 23rd, then is it you got a double header, 29th and 30th? Did I read that right?
I believe it's the weekend. The weekend after, practice on the Saturday and then a race on the Sunday.
And that, so that will be the weekend of Cara as well. So come for a road trip. Don't worry about the Harley Club Championship. Come up, support the Kelpie Cup and Cara, ride a different track. But no, look, totally understand if you like. And we spoke about this off air before too. Some people just like going to a local track, and there's nothing wrong with that. And but if you do want to take the racing a bit more serious and travel around that, there's some good opportunities on offer, but you do have to turn up to make the most of it. So
exactly.
So that, even though it's called round 2, I guess technically that's where you score your first points, and you only do that by showing up. So
it'd be good to do another one after Cowra, so after round 2, which is round 1, and get the points tally and talk about who's riding well, who's a favourite, and all that sort of stuff. So that'd be good.
Well, I look forward to having a list up of riders on the web page. We'll put the race the points order on there once we have one. It was really funny actually this weekend. Well, so tonight's Friday. I don't think we time stamped it. So tonight's Friday. So it was meant to all kick off tomorrow, but Zane couldn't make it. He's got his bikes and bits. You were going to try and make it. But you're working. I was going. I wasn't going to. I can't help. Shut up. I need to learn how to. Well, no, I won't say it. I was going to be doing stuff there, so I wasn't going to race. I was just going to do stuff, and Kelsey wasn't going to come because they're trying to get stuff finished and done.
Harrison would have raced, but he's injured.
Harrison's injured, so there's a lot of guys that didn't enter. So that would have just So I don't know if it was just the short notice, but
no, that's the thing. It's just everything sometimes adds up. Sometimes the stars just don't align, basically. Without be good to hopefully Cara really kicks it off, and then so July is it the first weekend of July is AFTN, isn't it? Yeah. Didn't you say New South Wales titles earlier? No, first weekend of June, New South Wales titles.
All right, and then first weekend of July, I think it was, is AFTN. So we'll be up at Appin, and then so I'm trying to get round 3, at the end of July. I think the date was the 20. Actually, have I got it written there? It's the 29th, I think it was. Which I'm pretty sure it didn't clash with anything. But we'll see what happens. So
I think Coffs now have New South Wales track titles, I think, that weekend, but
was that the 29th?
I think so,
I think you're right. It's
impossible to avoid clashes.
You can't avoid clashes. But look, anyway, Yeah, well, hopefully we get that in, and that goes ahead, and you guys are just going to have to choose what you want to do more. It is in Victoria, but while it is proposed to be in Victoria, we'll just see if the club comes on board. They were pretty keen, and we'll just see. But yeah, and then so you had the club meeting the other Tuesday, yeah? I was at work. Yeah. And did you talk about September?
No, I didn't. But
so
they all agreed to run
host
it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just said whatever round, it doesn't really matter. So.
Yeah. So I've proposed. I haven't got it written down there. Why not? Oh, September. I proposed September. I think it's the 20th, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date.
For the Harley Club. So that's at Broadford. So that will be round 4 by that stage. And yeah, you never know. We might get one up at Undera or something like that. That'd be awesome. We'll see how we go. If not, I might see if we can do 2 at Broadford. We'll see how everyone's feeling. If there's lots of people turning up and they want to, another round or 2.
I think it's 10th of September.
Yeah. I know. It's not the flashiest, not being all penciled in and 100% committed. I'm 100% committed, but it's just I've got to build relationships with the club. The Harley Club's the easy one. All the other ones, I don't really know the people in them and the presidents and all that sort of stuff, and they don't really know me that much.
Yeah.
So,
it's going to take time. Everything starts somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
Put a good word in for us. I'm not going to screw anyone over or anything like that. Actually, I don't make any money from it at all, to be honest, apart from any sales and products. That's the only way I'll make money from it. And I mean, I turn up to track with my stuff anyway. So, but I just promoting the sport and putting up the prize money, and the clubs running the class, they get whatever they get out of entry fees and levies and all that stuff like they normally would. So no one's making a huge profit or anything. We're doing it 100% for you guys to get more racing in and have something else to follow, because as you would know, listening to this pod, everyone says they want a series. So so you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got a couple going now with sort of 19-inch focus, so get into it. I think I've bashed that pretty hard on this. The pods have been actually sort of hard to organise. Probably ever since Bathurst, I've been really chasing my tail. I've made a few boo-boos in the business myself, and a few mistakes, and it's been hard to deal with. So it's been hard to be motivated to feel happy and do these as well. So because some of them were pretty shitty, but
part of it.
It's all part of it. But we're moving forward, and actually at Undera, I managed to bail up 4 riders, I think it was, and have a talk to them, which I'll put into this episode. And so it was Dan Leonetti, Ty Darkin, Benjamin Mundy, and Taylor Street. So it was a good chat, and I'm going to have to do a fair bit of editing on that because their voices are a bit quiet, so I'm going to have to raise them up and stuff. And that's
good lead into adding them into the pod then.
It was good. It was funny. There's lots of funny moments. Turns out Dan doesn't like spiders very much. Ty, it will be on YouTube as always, and there's a video element to it. And Ty's got some very short, stubby shorts on that he probably should shut his legs when he's facing the camera. And that sort of stuff. And it was a great weekend actually. Like sitting around a bonfire and all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, Taylor wasn't well and slept most of the time. Probably wanted to be at home, but
she's a trooper. She didn't make me feel bad about staying there, so that was good.
Oh, she didn't, or she did?
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, but what when you look back on let's look back on the last 2 years. What a life we've got, like
Yeah.
we're pretty bloody lucky. The traveling we've been doing, the racing we've been doing, touch wood, we've had a couple stacks and injuries and stuff, but nothing too major. And
No.
I think we're really lucky. I had a rest week this week from any training, like on the bike or on the pushy and all that. I just had a rest week this week. But you said to me you got into some running today. Was it today or yesterday?
Yeah, well, I went for a run tonight for the first time in a while. It's actually the first one since hurting my knee, and the knee felt good, so that was good.
Yeah, that's good. Is that when you hurt your knee here?
Yeah.
So, because you were running before that, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I was sort of doing a cross between running and cycling, so I don't know, running's just quicker, so you don't have a whole lot of time out. Sort of get the same kind of results without taking as long. So
yeah. And I ran the week the week before Undera a couple of days in a row, and then I almost couldn't walk on the Thursday. So I just went a little bit too hard too soon, sort of thing. It's funny though, because I was doing some runs like sort of 2 to 4K runs, and they were good. And then when I doubled it, I was really tight, and I thought, I'll just run it out the next day. I'll just run it out. I won't go hard. I'll just take it easy. And it got a lot worse. it went the opposite. I did 8 the first day and then 6 the next, and
that'd cook me.
Yeah, it was. Everything was tight. Like real tight. As you know, Brendo, we've got stairs. My room's upstairs. Our room's and we've got a chimney that goes up in the middle of the house. And I was sort of clinging to the chimney, coming downstairs. But anyway, feel good now. Gave it a rest this week, and we'll get back into it. I think hopefully we have a ride on Sunday. I want to do some endurance stuff. So, you wanted to do short skills, didn't you?
I just wanted to do some technique stuff. We can do different things. That's fine.
Oh, we can do both. Yeah.
So, no, it's good. That's
sort of time. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I actually so before my bike, was it? Can't remember. It feels like ages ago. Feels like a year ago, but I don't think it is that long ago. I was actually starting to do so the short drills, like 360 donuts around a single cone and that sort of stuff. I'm starting to do it with my feet up.
Oh yeah.
But only just. But I want to get really good at, I want to be able to get sort of sideways with my feet up, because I do feel uncomfortable putting my foot up early, and that's something. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, so
and that's exactly what that's like I said, just little techniquey stuff. So
at Undera last weekend, going through the right hander, a few times I managed to force myself to keep my both feet on the pegs.
Yeah.
And manipulate controls and go through that right hander. But I wouldn't say I was doing it super fast. So if I can practice it at low speeds and get comfortable, then,
exactly.
So that's something I'd like to practice on. And what about your bike? How you sort of thought you had a few issues with it or something?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm actually gonna do a lot of testing on it with different just play with the ECU a bit and test some different fuels and pipe and stuff like that. So I don't know, that'll be in a few weeks, but I don't know. I think I need to set aside time to actually play with it, because right now, if there's a problem with it, I'm just like, there's a problem with it, and I'll just keep riding it and not actually do anything to try and fix the problem. So I just need to put more effort into trying to fix the problem if I see it, rather than just leave it and not do anything about it and wonder why it hasn't gotten any better. So
yeah, and I'm a bit the same. I think I did that with my suspension for way too long. I discovered on the weekend that the back's good now, but the front is shit out. So And I discovered that because I went on Dan Leonetti's bike
Yeah.
and rode the same lines. And there was, so down the back straightaway, if you went to the outside, there was a whole lot of little bumps. Like, I don't know, were they formed from just powering on there, or
I don't know. I think it's sort of like delaminated a bit. I think they're potholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I went across his bike, them on his bike, I didn't feel them at all. When you do
Yeah,
it on
right.
my bike, it just about shook you right off the machine. Like,
Yeah, I felt them on mine too.
death
If I hit
wobbles.
them on an angle, I'd get head shake. Yeah, but that might be the 19s though, because obviously being a smaller diameter, it falls in the hole. A bigger diameter is just going to go over the top of it.
Yeah. If I move to the left, so if I cut the corner a little bit shorter, tighter, and missed them, it was fine.
Yeah.
Didn't get it at all. But I'm sort of going, that's a bit of an issue because if that's the race line.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's the quickest way to do the track, and that's happening to me and not to others, then I'm at a disadvantage. So I do want to see if there is a way around that. So I do want to play with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if air changing the rake would have made a difference.
Yeah.
But see, sort of that's like what you were saying, instead of going and grabbing the tools, I just went and cut more laps.
Yeah, exactly.
And started trying different lines.
Try and ride around it, which is a good skill to have. You need to be able to ride around problems, but if you set aside sort of like a practice day or riding at your place or whatever, and being like, okay, I'm not going to ride around problems, because not only does trying to fix the problem possibly fix the problem, but it also teaches you what to do when your bike's feeling a certain way and stuff. And lots of people probably don't spend enough time, me included, on practicing that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, the only time I've actually done that was up at Mildura that night, and I softened my suspension a little bit on the front end because I thought like I was getting a lot of impact through the top half of my body.
Yeah.
So I thought, I think the shot's too hard. So I softened them up just a couple clicks. And then I went down the straight and got the head shake.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of myself. So I quickly clicked them back.
Yeah.
And it sort of scared me off playing around with stuff too much. But definitely after switching between, and they're both Yamaha 450s. I think they're pretty close in years too.
1 year apart, but it's a new generation.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought it wasn't a bad comparison. Going on to the Michelin was bizarre. Like I actually,
it's been a long time since you've been on one of them.
Yeah, it's been a real long time, and it just felt like I had marshmallow on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, but got used to it pretty quick. And Dan's handlebars are really narrow, like Lockie's were narrow too.
Yeah, that's all of what. Yeah, once your bike's set up to you, it's weird jumping on anyone else's.
Yeah, the good thing, the positive takeaway is that I adapted like within a lap, 2 laps.
Yeah.
And just when I've dealt with this before, I put my hands, more to the outside of the grips. And that sort of stuff. And it became comfortable pretty good. I think you and I had a pretty good battle when I was on that.
Yeah, it's when you cut the track.
I wasn't cutting the track. It's honestly a race line. It's just overgrown.
So no, that was fun, yeah. And I was struggling honestly, but it's fun anyway.
Why is it when we battle you always say I was struggling?
No, and that's the thing. I don't know. The last few meetings I've felt real good at the start of it and felt real comfortable on the bike, and then I don't know what happens. I just lose intensity or something towards the end. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is, but we'll figure that out.
That's not. I don't think it's a fitness thing, because your fitness is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it feels like a mental fatigue thing, to be honest. Like I don't like. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Right? I think it's a mental fatigue thing. So, which kind of stems from fitness anyway. So I'm not quite sure why, but and why now? Like when you start training more, that you should be getting less mental fatigue, but training more and getting more mental fatigue. So
yeah, but did you ever record how long? Like maybe we're doing longer sessions than we were.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I noticed it. The first time I noticed it was at Bathurst, and and then whatever time we rode after that, I noticed it, and then so after Bathurst, and then Undera on Saturday night, I noticed it, and then again on Sunday. So yeah, it's weird, but I'll figure it out.
Maybe it's because you've cut down on lollies so much.
Yeah, maybe I need to get back on the lollies. Yeah, I'm more than happy to try it.
Yeah. Brendan's got a bit of a lolly addiction. Well, he had. Yeah, I think you've pretty much got over it.
Yeah, I don't really eat much of them now, but that's not through lack of wanting to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh well, there we go. It'd be good to get a ride in this weekend, and
some technical and endurance training. Maybe we'll see. I don't know what time we get on the bikes and stuff. See how much time we got and whatever, and even a couple 20-minute sessions, and then I don't know which way around it's better to do it. Whether to do the technical stuff first and then the endurance stuff, or the other way around. Yeah,
I'm not sure. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, because to do the technical stuff, you actually need to be really onto it, but it tires you out really quick. So I don't know if I want to do endurance stuff afterwards, but like you said, we'll sort that out. But so not that much really coming up. It's sort of getting near the winter break too. For the club, isn't it? So
and it's sort of always been the second half of the year is when all the titles and that are. So this year's kind of true to form to that. So it's kind of felt like a slow start this year for some reason. Like it just feels like there's long breaks between races. I don't know why. Maybe I feel like when you're prepared for something, like, and you're not worried about it happening now, that's why it feels like it takes so long to get there. So
and what about your sponsors? You've had a bit of support from some old sponsors, and did you get a new one as well, you were saying?
Well, just some extra help. So Fly Helmets have stepped up a little bit more. Well, a little bit this year. I just bought Fly Helmet the last couple of years, something. I just think they're really safe and they're really comfortable and they fit my head well. And they jumped on board this year and helped me out. So that's cool. And then just still waiting on some finalizations of some other stuff. So should be a good year.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's great when you get support from other sponsors, and any help's appreciated.
100%. Yeah. So
it's good.
Yeah, it's good. And it makes you want to try harder too. So it's good.
Yeah. I think actually with the group of riders that we were with in the weekend, I think the fitness level is pretty high, and that makes me want to go harder.
And it's different though too, like that intensity of a practice day or whatever is never the same as a race day, and you're never going to be able to replicate it. But it's so it's always interesting to see, like, you can hold a certain pace on a practice day, but then when the pace is so much higher on a race day, how long you can hold that for. So.
Yeah, and also with that intensity of the race day, mistakes can happen easier.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that changes it up a bit too. So someone that might be a little bit more relaxed on the race day and's holding a good pace.
They might end up
on the sorry, did I say race day? I mean practice day. That's holding a good pace. On a race day when they know that there's a couple fast guys behind them, like if they got the jump on them off the start or something, they might not cope with the pressure as well, make mistakes. It changes everything.
That's why I always love. My favorite thing to do is race simulations. Like if I'm just practicing, just because as soon as there's if you've got to do a race start with other people or whatever, the intensity level's already higher. So that's what I think the best thing to do in terms of race training, because then you can work on so many things and the intensity is higher, so it's more similar to a race day. And
it is good. We're going to have to do that. For whatever reason, if the Kelpie Cup doesn't carry on, or and I've got some merch in that here. It might have to be the prizes for a backyard race meet or something.
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, I made the trophies for the last one we had here out of old sprockets and stuff, and they turned out pretty good.
Turned out sick. Still on my trophy cabinet now.
Yeah. So yeah, well, if you didn't get that, yeah, Brendan won that one. I think you've got the big sprocket, haven't you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I've got the little sprocket. But
that was fun though, yeah. I can do another one like that.
Yeah, a couple more riders this time. I think was there 6 of us last time?
I think there was 4.
4 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had two rows of 2 off the start. Super pole lap. It was cool.
Yeah, we need a few more this next time.
Yeah.
Get all the girls involved as well. Yeah. No girls classes though. I'm over girls classes. You can
just race with us.
Just join them with us and come and race.
That's it.
Next class. But anything else you've noticed that's worth mentioning? Oh, the women's class in the AFTN has been added.
So for Tari, so that's cool.
I think it's all rounds, isn't it? Because it's on the website.
Right, the original post said just for the last round, and the reason is to see how many entries it gets to know whether he's going to put it as a full class next year, which I think is a good way to do it, because then it's on the girls then it's to enter, if they want a women's class, then they're going to need to support it, because if they don't, there won't be one.
Yeah. Are you trying to look it up too?
Yeah. I don't know where it was.
I'm clicking it. Why is it? Oh, there. Yeah, after our last pod, you'll know that I'm not that flash with it. So classes of racing, class capacity, frame, tyres and age. It's got Pro 450, Pro 250, Clubman Open, Pro Twins, Women's, Junior Lights and Junior 85s.
Yeah, okay.
So it doesn't say it's only for one round. It seems to be, to me, that applies. Let us know, Dave, if we're wrong, going down the wrong track. But it applies,
giving everyone the wrong information.
Yeah, it applies that it's at each round. So point score system, accrue points over every race, not just per round. One bad race isn't the end of your chances to win the Aussie Flat Track Nationals. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so it doesn't say that the women's class is just at Taree.
Yeah, cool.
But
see what happens.
So there was something else I noticed in there. Clubman Open up to 500 cc 2-stroke or 4-stroke MX frame is on 19-inch flat track tyres.
Yeah, he said there's no more 1821.
Yeah, no more. So no more mitts, guys. So hit us up if you need some 19s, and I'll help you out if I can. I actually have sold out of some more stock. Summer's on its way. Obviously, I sold out yesterday on the earlier model CRF stuff. So yeah, I'll have to get some more of that in. But cool. Everything else we've got: Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, and the modern CRF from 013 to 23. We've got KTM is on its way, hopefully. So
Yep. Awesome.
So hopefully no planes crash on the way to Australia. But the way my month's been going, who knows? Let's not go.
You'll be all right.
Should be all good. And motocross. We don't talk about it because we're a flat track pod, but we do have Zach Joy, who's one of our who's one of your teammates who you know, but you've never seen him at training and that because he's always training for motocross. But he's been going pretty good. He's in the MX2 class now for nationals and stuff, and he's learning a lot, I think, in that division. And he was at Aubrey last weekend. I don't think he quite had the weekend he was after, but awesome to be supporting an ex-dirt tracker in the discipline he's chasing. and hopefully we'll get him coming and doing some track with us because he's a pretty good rider. And we did a sneaky. Well, actually, we got permission, so it wasn't really that sneaky. But we went around the motocross track at Undera, which is as far as jumps go, I would say very beginner level. Would you say?
Yeah.
But
Like a kid's
on
track, really.
19-inch flat track tires in sand, and or the terrain changed, and there were different lines that you could take that were harder, and that it was pretty challenging. But I realised how inconsistent I was on the jumps. Like, so I think it'd be good to get Zach out here and show us. I know what the attack position is and everything, but for some reason, I don't know, sometimes my front end would be going up and sometimes my back end would be going up, and just wasn't nice. But I think quite often it was set up. So like I come out of a corner, some of the jumps were close to the corner, and I'd hit it a bit sideways, or it just didn't have quite the right run up or something. So, and the other thing that was hard about that was having a steel shoe on the peg. Even though I've got rubber on the peg, it was still quite hard to manipulate my weight distribution with it. But that was fun. And Brendan reckons that's how he broke his pipe. So you might have to use your other pipe on the TT tracks.
Oh, no, should be good.
All right, mate. Well, I'll let you get back to your evening, and you probably missed the movie you're going to watch now, have you?
No, I wasn't doing anything, so I will probably go to bed now. I got to work in the morning, so.
Oh yeah, should have forgot about that. What time do you have to be there?
Oh, not till like 9, so.
Oh, that's all right.
So that'd be all right.
Plenty of time. All right, dude. Well, thanks for coming and having a chat, and
no worries.
We'll catch you in the weekend with any luck.
Yep, no worries. See you then.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah.
All right. So that was good to catch up with Brendo. Lots been going on as you hear throughout that little chat, and we'll just move on and have a listen to the chat I had with the guys at the track at Undera. Hope you enjoy it. We have got more interviews coming. The ones that I was trying to line up before, they sort of fell through, but they're not written off. And I've actually got a couple other people that are keen. So, we'll get on to that. But I think this New Zealand trip's going to come around really quick. Really excited about that. Hopefully going to be racing at Moore Park in Christchurch, which is a speedway track. I believe it's the last meeting of the year. I could be wrong on that, but my old man was doing a bit of research, and I think that's what he came up with. But you're bound to hear more about that, so that's pretty exciting. If you're lucky enough to be getting out and racing, race safe. There is a lot of stuff going on and popping up and that, but I also quite a few people that I've talked to lately of having to buckle down a bit and save a bit of money so they can do the next thing. These long road trips and that do withdraw the funds pretty quick. So take it easy, guys. Keep doing what you love doing, and enjoy the rest of the pod, and see you on the next one. Keep it sideways, go flat tracker.
Just tuck those shorts up a bit higher, mate.
All right, so we're here at Undera Park Speedway with the Golden Valley Motorcycle Club. Did a bit of underlights last night. I'm here with Ty Darkin 122. We're just hanging shit on him about stealing Cody Lewis's number, but he reckons it was the other way around. So tell us, Ty, how you got into dirt track and how long you've been racing. And
I got into dirt track, it's coming up close to a year now. I've got a speedway background. It's like sidecars usually, or mainly, through my pa, mum's dad. And I rang up Jody Mason one day because he lives in King Lake, and he's like, start dirt track. It'll be fun. So I'm like, oh yeah, alright. gave it about 2 years, and I finally did it. And then I bought the Honda.
Yeah.
And went to one of the come and try days, and enjoyed it too much.
So now you're hooked.
Yeah, spending money now.
So what bike did you start on?
So, what, dirt track? Or?
Yeah, on dirt track.
The first time I had a go was on a 152 stroke Husqvarna, and that was... fought that thing all day. Then had a massive high side in pit corner.
Oh, did you?
First time, yeah.
Yeah, so you said you started your racing career, I suppose, in Speedway, and is that too?
No, I just grew up around Speedway. The first time I ever raced was dirt track.
Oh, right. Okay.
I grew up riding at home and like the bush and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was about it. I've had no other race experience around them apart from dirt track.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're enjoying it, and you're learning. You've had your first sort of decent injury just recently. Tell
learning
us about
the
that
limits.
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't fun at all. It was a good weekend. I was enjoying it, the titles, and I was just pushing too hard in the rapid charge and grabbed a handful of the throttle instead of being smooth, and then kind of hit a little hole in the track and just turned sky high. And
yeah, straight away knew something wasn't right.
Yeah, it was kind of like this when I got up. It's 14 weeks off, so yeah.
14 weeks.
14 weeks off. Yeah.
And what did that do for your confidence when you had it?
Honestly, nothing. Like I come back fine. Like I wasn't worried at all, which was I surprised myself with that really.
Yeah, I've got a feeling you might have a screw loose actually, because you seem to just go hammer and tongs and not worry too much. You reckon that's youth or?
Probably. Maybe I'll grow up a little bit. But I don't know.
No, it's good though, and that's why you're progressing so quickly for being a relatively new rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you went to that Mitchie, you really dropped a couple seconds, and now you're up in the top runners pretty much every meet, isn't it?
Yeah, I just reckon it's all that bike setup really. As soon as you get your bike set up right, the suspension done, and like Michelin's where it's at. Personally, I reckon that's where it's at, Michelin. Yeah. And once it's set up right, it just gets easier and easier and easier to ride, and then you can start to push more and find the limits. Yeah.
And it's sort of, when you're getting up to those higher speeds in the point of your end, do you feel like putting in less effort actually is making you faster, if that makes sense? Like, so, sometimes you can override.
Yeah.
Like, you're pushing real hard and you're going, but I'm not getting anywhere. Do you reckon your fastest times is when it feels like you're not doing anything?
Yeah. Well, when I started, I was real tight, and I was holding on way too tight, and I was getting arm pumps straight away.
Yeah.
Then you start to loosen up a little bit, get more comfortable on the bike, and it just feels so much smoother.
Yeah.
So it's just, you just got to loosen up a little bit and stop being so uptight on the bike, and it just makes it so much easier to ride.
Yeah, cool. And so what do you think your future in the sport is? What are you looking at doing?
At the moment, I'm just doing it for fun because I really enjoy it, coming to the track and hanging out with my mates and having a ride. But I'd like to progress and keep getting faster and, I don't know,
just
maybe grab a title one day.
See where it goes. Yeah. Well, I think everyone, whether they admit it or not, races to be the best they can and to win. Yeah. So. And weekends like this just make it even better. I think I've really enjoyed my
this weekend's been good because there's no pressure at all. It's just go and ride, have fun with your mates. So
it's a bit of a bonfire last night.
Yeah.
And, out here, a bottle of whiskey came out or something.
Yeah.
Was that Taylor Street's doing? She's cracking up over there. Yeah. Once some of the talk started getting out of my league, I had to go to bed. I don't understand. What was it, dildos and stuff? I stick to the old school, normal shit. All right. Well, thanks for having a chat. I didn't actually check the sound on that. We'll check that, and I think we'll get Ben Mundy over here and have a chat. We'll get Taylor on again too. She's been on before.
I think the wind's just getting under him.
All right, so I've got Benjamin Mundy here, aka Mr. Moustache, and pretty new to racing too, Ben.
Yeah. So last year would have been the first full season.
Yeah, right.
I did, I think, one round before that. So
yeah, okay. So you sort of come from a different form of racing, which was downhill mountain biking. And before that, like when you were a kid, what did you do? Any motorsport and stuff?
No, never racing. Look, I was always hung out around the pits at Phillip Island a bit with some of my cousins and stuff that were racing down there and that sort of stuff, but never raced anything. Like I only had an old XR80 when I was a kid that I played on a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, that's pretty well it.
Yeah, so I reckon that there's a bit of a trend I've noticed that a lot of the good riders rode around on what other people might class as shit heaps, you know. And I think it actually, well, I did the same, you know. I grew up riding on step-throughs through the sand dunes and that in South Island, New Zealand, and stuff that shouldn't be ridden in that area, you know, or A100s and that on motocross tracks would go through the hole in the fence and stuff, you know, stuff like that. And I think it's that underpowered, very poor setup. Teaches you a lot of how to ride around stuff, and so that when you hear some people whinge about the track's too rough, or it's like Paul Cazzo said on his pod, you just got to ride around that shit, and that's what makes good riders. And I think that sort of background, I've noticed a lot of guys that bang around in the bush on a old beat up TTR 125 or something. They deal with that sort of stuff a lot better. So it's interesting to hear that was sort of your background. I thought because you've progressed pretty quickly as well. You won the C Grade Championship last year in the Harley Club Victoria. You've you bought a new machine which is behind you there. I think we can sort of see it in there. You're one of the only guys that I know of running a leader. What's the go there?
That is from I did a natural terrain race a couple of years ago, and all the easy numbers were taken with tape, so all the 111s and the 117s and all those easy combinations. I said, can I do a letter? And I looked at the computer and said yes, so I said done.
Yeah.
That's me. That
so
was
you became
sticky tape M, and that was it. That's,
letter M.
Yeah, this is the first time it's actually had a printed one, so it's always been sticky tape for all of last year, but we're a bit more serious now, I suppose. It's got printed ones.
Yeah, sweet. And I'll just skip to Ty quickly. I didn't ask, do you have any sponsors or backing at the moment, Ty?
Yes.
Yeah, did you want to give them a quick shout out?
Come sit on my lap, mate.
Oh, just Colin. Thank Colin Rosewarne.
Yeah.
Grant Dodd from Dodd Earthworks and Stuart Carrick for doing a good motor.
Yeah, so Stuart Carrick for motorwork,
Colin
Rosewarne photography, and Grant Dodd, was it?
Dodd Earthworks,
Yeah, Dodd Earthworks, cool. That's ties, and I'm not on the ball. I don't have any notes, and we're winging it here, and I'm hungover from non-alcoholic beer, so it's all up to shit. But anyway, so moving on to Ben Mundy's sponsors. I know you've got at least one major one you need to mention.
Easy Race Products, of course. The fancy hubs and triples and stuff that we do.
Yeah, so they do all CNC sort of work.
Yep. Do some CNC, very nice hubs and very nice triple clamps and that sort of thing.
And that's ENZ?
No, EZE.
EZE.
Yep. All Aussie made and made in Victoria, and very good quality stuff. One of the hubs were on Roxon's World Supercross bike that he won on and all that sort of stuff. So they've done some good stuff.
Yeah, sure. There you go, boss. He's giving you a good plug. Yes, that's awesome. And so moving to the gas. Before you were on a Honda 450, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
And what do you reckon with the differences with the gas? Is that handle out of the box? Because you haven't done anything to the suspension, I believe.
On the gas, I have. Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yes. Yeah. So I rode it once at Ride Park, just on the motocross track there.
Yeah.
And actually really, really liked it. It's probably the best motocross suspension that I'd ridden out of the box.
Yeah.
And then took it straight to get the suspension done. And so I'm still getting my head around it, to be honest, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's only, your third or fourth ride on it?
Including, this would be the third ride, including the motocross track before the suspension was done. So.
Yeah. So, and power delivery in that compared to the Honda?
Less sort of punchy in the mid-range. is the Honda was very punchy in the mid range, and then kept winding on, but it had a few sort of holes in the power, whereas this just drives everywhere. It's much more linear and sort of it's you can hear what revs it's doing, and that's exactly how much power you know. Whereas the Honda was a little bit more intermittent. You'd hope that it was going to come on smooth, but you weren't always sure what was going to happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know Brendan, a new bike swap last night, and I couldn't really hear 100% what he was yelling at me through the helmets, but it was something like I didn't want to get back on my bike, so he must have liked it.
Yeah.
It's pretty, because they're not that popular, but I know, is it Katana Robinson from New South? Do you know her? Katana Robinson's got one there. Mm-hmm. She's got 19s and that on it, so yeah, they must be. I think there's a couple in the American Flat Track Series as well, so they must be starting to, find a place in our discipline, which is awesome. Yeah. So, what sort of expectations do you have for yourself? Are you taking it as just a fun hobby to get involved in, or?
Yeah, look, obviously, as you sort of mentioned before, obviously I'd like to win. It seems it's been, after that last round, it's proved a little bit hard with racing with Ty. Couldn't really get around him, and he could comfortably get around me. But yeah, look, that's
So that was at the Harley Club.
Yes,
round.
Harley Club.
Was that round
Two?
Yeah, round two. Yeah. And that whole event was pretty challenging with the track conditions and that anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like I said before, you got to know how to ride around that stuff.
That's it. I did have a little bit of mechanical stuff going on, so I'm hoping that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On a new bike.
Yeah. Tyres and.
Yeah,
tyre issue that.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
No. A brand that will go unnamed, but I couldn't get it to bead, and it was a bit of an issue.
Okay.
It's gone back and.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they've warranted it for me, which is good.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I've got an idea what that might be, because another guy, and it's not a Kelpie.
No, it's not a Kelpie. I'll clarify that.
Another guy that I met that race from Ballarat, he seemed to have disappeared, but he returned one to the motorcycle, Ballarat motorcycle.
Yeah.
It was the same issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but with Ty drove in a straight line. I had very good drive and that sort of stuff, but yeah, very sketchy.
Yeah, in the corner.
Yeah.
Just wasn't holding.
No. I was just very wobbly. Like as soon as the bike was limped right over, it was just about jumping the back wheel in the air. So it was tricky to try and be confident.
Yeah. So you hopped on the pushy this morning and had a ride around this complex. What do you reckon, Golden Valley Motorcycle Club?
I think there's a lot of potential here. I definitely haven't, ridden a lot of other places besides Broadford. So, and your place. They're the only two tracks I've actually ridden on. So I'm probably not the most qualified person to answer, but I had an absolute ball on that short track last night. And I think there's a lot of potential for the dirt track over there.
Yeah, the short track was different now. I really liked it once I started to figure out what gear to be in and how not to end up on the fence. Ty can tell us how to end up on the fence. I don't know, did you figure out how not to be on the fence?
Yeah, stay out of my bubbles.
And Dan Leonetti, who will get on as well, showed us how to ride into a fence without even being on the track. So that was pretty good. These are all the stuff you guys don't get to see and hear about. That's why I'm bringing it up, because it was bloody entertaining. And the little kid that was parked next to him was going, "What the? What the? How's this guy doing?"
Terrified, I think.
Oh, Ben, thanks for having to talk to us.
No
Ben
worries,
Mundy, Mr. M, keep an eye out for him, because I'm sure he's going to be travelling a bit. And you've come a long way in a short time, so stay safe. And
that's the plan.
Thanks for the chat.
No, thank you, thanks.
No worries, mate. So, Ms. Taylor Street in the hot seat. We've had Taylor on the pod before, but it's good to see her in her natural environment. And yes, we know a bit about your background, road racing and dirt tracking, and before we talk about here, how did you go at Bathurst? It's a pretty big event. Was it? before we get into the racing side, how do you go with all the travelling and that? Were you driving and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I was with Mum and Dad. We drove up on the Thursday, was able to get the day off work with my boss. So yeah, we just made a commute up the freeway and got there, just cruised up. Usually, like Dad and I will drive. Sometimes Mum comes to the track or she'll fly.
Yeah.
I've flown a few times as well. Just, it's hard to get days off work.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's, I don't know how to explain it, you're just trying to make it happen. And like the van I've got, it's only got 2 seats, or we'll take the big trailer as well. So
Yeah.
it all depends what the go is and
Yeah.
what we're going to take and if we can camp there or not. Like when we went to Forbes, we brought the trailer and we stayed at Forbes, just camped there, and that was easy.
Yeah.
And we all went up in the same car. And like when I went to Barley Ranch a couple of years ago, I flew up, Mum and Dad drove up, and I just met them there in the motel.
Yeah, we're in the middle of trying to figure out logistics for the Brisbane, because that's for the AFT, because that's like you say, a few days driving each way sort of thing, and time off work. Who's going to do it? It'll probably be me, because I'm the most flexible. But then how many bikes?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of logistics involved when you start travelling around, isn't there?
Oh yeah, and like it's hard for us as well living in Victoria, because like if you want to improve and get better with your riding, you need to travel, because naturally all the riders that are faster than you are in New South Wales and Queensland, because they've got more tracks at their disposal.
Yeah, and they also travel too. They'll travel around those tracks, even if it is closer. That's irrelevant. They get around their racing.
Oh yeah.
People faster than them, and it works both ways. But definitely, like you say, with Victoria, and that's sort of why we're here this weekend, is to help Golden Valley Motorcycle Club establish this complex and offer another ground with a different surface. And so far, I'm pretty impressed. You can see a lot of pretty easy steps to get it to where they want to go.
Yeah.
But they just need a few helpers and some input.
Well, they definitely had interest last night as well, because it's a Saturday night, it's a small town here in Undera. What do they got? A pub just down the road, and that's it, and a general store. There was probably about 20 people out there just watching practice. Not many people wanted to.
Actually, I don't know if Rob counted it, but he said there was 150 people here at one stage.
Oh, really? I was way up the mark.
For a practice, well, there was.
Like late at night, like I'm talking when we nearly finished.
Yeah,
around
nearly
10,
finished. Yeah, it was
there
more
was like
50,
20, but still to stay out till like stumps that late.
Yeah.
But 150 people, I didn't realise. That's good though.
Yeah, because there was a few sitting on seats there at the start of the night, and then a few cars rocked up, and there was a lot of people, because they have a bar here, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of people drinking at the bar. So it's fantastic.
And they don't have like the speedway on. They only have it like once a year. They didn't have it this year, I don't think. They didn't.
No.
Which was like I went and watched the speedway here a couple of years ago. It was always on my birthday.
Oh, is it? Oh,
spent my birthday at Undera for the Australian Speedway titles, and it's pretty cool just seeing how many people just rock up into like such a small town, and everyone benefits from it.
Yeah.
And I think this place has a lot of potential, like Ben said, and Ty as well, for not only for the riders but for the town itself.
Yeah, I think it does too, and I'm happy to get behind it and support it, and not just for the club and that, but for the riders in Victoria as well. Having more tracks and more different tracks that have this is quite a big difference. That's not sand granite, the short circuit. It's actually he was telling me last night it's like a clay stone, they call it. So it reacts quite different, even though you sort of look at it and it looks sand granity. I enjoyed when it looked like it was sort of too wet, but it was perfect. But and the thing I enjoyed about it too is that there was bugger all roost. Did you notice that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you were behind anyone at all last night, but
No, they let me off. They got everyone else to go before me. It didn't matter where I started. Gazza Timmerman.
Yeah, so yeah, it was.
But it was good. Give you the chase, sort of.
Yeah, he made quite big gaps between the goes as well.
Yeah, it was good.
So, but I got behind McCoward and a guy on a 2-stroke bike last night, and I pulled back a little bit. But even when I got closer to make the pass, I didn't really get roosted.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. So that's sort of a bonus for your body and your bike. And
Bathurst route is crazy.
Yeah.
Like when I went there, I think it was because I was in the ladies in the slider, and then I rode the 450, the open class at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And like I was already getting pelted from riding the slider because you're in a different position. You're lowered and your body's elevated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're sitting
very
up.
open.
Yeah, and like my whole leg was literally, it looked like I had chicken pox.
Yeah,
From all the roosts, and then like I looked at my arms at the end of the night and they were bleeding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was pretty intense.
Yeah, I sort of thought Oyen was worse. Like my nose, all the skin got taken off my nose and that at Oyen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bathurst it wasn't so bad, but I was in the 450, not on the slider.
Yeah.
But I remember watching you guys go into turn 1 and 2, and by the time you're coming out of 2, everyone that was behind the first 2 riders you couldn't see anything. It was just you were just covered.
I reckon I went through at least 2 packs of tear-offs.
Oh, did you? Yeah, right.
Especially on the slider, you just get caked in it because it's just, I don't know how to explain it. How you just get caked in more, but yeah.
So with Bathurst, were you happy with your racing?
No, not really, to be honest. So I want to wish that I was happy, but I'm not. I think because just having high expectations of myself, and I think it was a bit of a good gauge for next time.
Yeah.
Because riding in Victoria, you'll be riding with people like Mick, and Mick's probably the person I want to ride with here.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been riding lately, so I've kind of been riding with people that are around the same level as me, not someone that's better.
Yeah.
So it's been hard to progress and to go to Bathurst and think, I don't know how I'm going to go, and then I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm happy with my results, but I'm not at the same time.
Yeah. So you got 3rd in the women's class.
Yeah.
So you still got on the podium. Did you get on the podium in the sliders?
I got 4.
You got 4. So you're bloody close.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking they're full grids plus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
it's
happy
pretty
with my
good.
slider class. 100%. Like
So that was your first full-on slider event, wasn't it?
I rode the slider at the Vix, but I'd never ridden like that was a long track bike, so it was completely different again.
Yeah.
So it was a lot longer. I took the brakes off as well when
Oh,
I
okay.
went and raced it.
Yeah.
So, and like I'd never ridden, like the slider's fast, but at Bathurst you're doing 130 k's, sometimes 140 k's an hour.
Yeah.
On a bike that's got no brakes.
Yeah, it's pretty
And it looks like
crazy.
push bike chassis.
Yeah,
To be honest.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're not much bigger. I think the diameter is actually about the same if you look at my pushy over there.
Yeah.
But
I was surprised though about Bathurst. Like I thought everyone tells you how fast it is and it's crazy. Like I thought it would be a lot faster, to be honest.
But I don't know about you, but sensation, once you hit, like my times weren't real flash, but I was happy enough because I sort of went in with you, like you, just sort of thinking, I don't know how I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'd never used that suspension. I was hoping it was better than before because I wasn't happy with it before, which it was. I could get on it earlier. Takeaways for me was I was beating people that were beating me in previous events lately. So although I didn't get near as far down in the pack as I would have liked to been, I still.
Yeah.
You have to take the positives, don't you? So
that's what I
took the positives from that. But I remember one stage going through the corner, just holding it where I was comfortable at the speed I was holding it, and I was thinking to myself, "No, just breathe." And I'm going, "Oh, actually, I'll take a tear off."
Yeah.
And then I'm coming into the corner. It was, it was just like it's like everything went into slow motion.
Yeah.
It's so fast. Doesn't feel fast, but I was probably going over 100 k's.
Yeah. Yeah, I
so,
think more from like the road racing background kind of thing, just being used to be able to go over like 200 k's an hour.
Yeah.
And I think that it was fast, but I think Mount Beauty's faster, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because you're pretty much hitting top gear at that sweeper at Mount Beauty. Have you ridden there before?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't made it.
So it's massive. It's like a big boomerang, and
I've watched footage of you guys riding.
you come out of this tight corner and you just literally just click it up to your top gear, and you just hold it the whole way, and you go around this sweeper and you're tucked in, and like you just controlled slide, like tucked in, and just hold it the whole way, and you just like I was riding at Mount Beauty one day, and one of my friends, Brett Kerntyes, works at Cisco's, and he was wearing a Garmin, so we'll keep making fun of him for wearing it, but he clocked himself in my Slipstream Bill 157.
Right.
So that's pretty fast on the MX bike.
Track.
Yeah, and like so when you look on Google Maps, like it's at Mount Beauty, the track, and the end corner end of the straight doesn't look that tight, but when you're going at that speed and you're on the anchors pretty hard and just having that G-force as well and trying to turn in as well with trailing brakes and the corner's banked as well, so you've got that positive camber, but then it slowly goes to neutral. And it's skatey as well, so
that's pretty much a hairpin.
Yeah, it's pretty much a hairpin, but it doesn't look like it on like a satellite.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, and like it always keeps you on your toes, that track, because it's just so the surface is different each corner. So you'll have like beautiful, like deep, loamy, soft dirt, and then next minute it's limestone.
Right, real hard.
Yeah.
I got told that it was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like, is it more similar to what we've got over here?
I think so, but there's just some more like hard sections. Like apparently it used to be an old car track with like oil and stuff on it,
an old oil track.
Yeah, and then they put dirt over the top, so it's got that blue groove.
Yeah, okay.
But no, it's just cool. Just
it'd be good if that comes back. I'm not sure how that will go because that was run under EMA. No, which
I think
AMA.
But yeah, I think it will go under MA. They've worked on the fencing and stuff. Same with Melbourne too.
Yeah, cool.
Good. But like it's good to ride those tracks because like especially ones that have different track surfaces within them. Because my biggest problem with my riding is not being able to adapt quickly.
Right.
And that's why I feel like I struggled a lot at Bathurst because the track kept changing throughout the night.
Yeah.
Like my first race of the meeting, it was like riding on marbles, super slippery.
Yeah. That's when it was real dusty.
Yeah, real dusty, and I just feel like I just couldn't. Just like I was able to get good starts, but I just wasn't able to just adapt quick enough, and that's just experience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like the girls that I'm riding with have really stepped it up in the last like 3 years. The racing's become a lot harder as well, and even like all my classes, and just being able to adapt quicker and be able to make those changes. But it all comes down to experience, and I think that's what made the difference.
Yeah.
And I think.
Well, you brought it back. It was probably a little bit late, but I mean, it did get you back on the step. So you brought it back because I think you were getting fourths all night.
So I got I got 1/4, and that was from when I was on the start, and Brooke Golding, she was in these two ruts, and they were going out, so they weren't straight at all. She's just tried to like go in the middle of it. I feel so bad for her, and she's just come out of the gate and just absolutely T-boned me.
Yeah.
And I just had this massive tank slapper, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm going down. I'm going down on the straight. I look back at the videos, and I'm like doing the big W's, and I'm just like, oh, this is no good. But somehow I like gained so much ground on them. Like I lost probably about 30 metres.
Yeah.
No, I lost about 40 metres and I gained 30.
It's a long time.
So I really got right on the back of the pack. And that's when I've had the track was really good in that point, and I was like, yeah, I feel confident with it. And then I went out my next race, and the track changed again, and like, I just need to be able to adapt quicker, and that just comes down to experience.
Yeah.
And just knowing how to look at that surface and go, all right, I can hit this at this speed and this gear, or like just simple things like, all right, I'm going too fast this corner, I'll just lean back a little bit more, slow myself down. And I think that's what, since riding the slider, had really given me a few more tricks up my sleeve to adapt. So, and like that's when I raced at Forbes as well, like that was my issue as well. Like I had some really good races, but I crashed twice that weekend.
Yeah.
But that's because I was going in too fast and just not adapting to the track well enough and knowing the limitations as well.
Yeah.
So it's just experience and understanding what to do and what not to do. So, yeah.
So we got Rob. I'm doing a podcast here, Rob. Say g'day. Say hello.
G'day, folks. Thanks for coming to Undera Park Speedway and joining in on the activities of the weekend. It's great to have the Harley Club Victoria here. Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, no, awesome. It's like professional. We'll have to get you in front of the camera in a minute.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So, I think...
and just getting that used to getting better throughout the night, it gave me I have like self-confidence within myself, but when you see it and you know what's happening, you get that dopamine hit high and you just go, alright. To lead the race, like got a whole shot, held it all the way, and just, it was good.
Yeah.
Last race of the night, and it's like, alright, I know this track. Wish I did this at the start of the day.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I sort of went that way too. I had a slow start and came better at the end of the meeting. Brendan was the other way. I felt good at the start of the meeting, and then, which I know, you know, as far as points and all that sort of stuff, having a good start to the meeting's the way to go. But yeah, I reckon his depression levels were higher than mine because he felt like he was going backwards, not forwards. I'd rather end up feeling like I'm going forwards.
Yeah, well, I started to get better. Like, so I got a 4th, 2/3, and a 1st.
Yeah,
so
right.
I slowly progressed, but yeah, just being able to do it straight away.
And yeah, it's funny you saying about the track. Like, so what I had to do when I went back to the 19s and just started because the program got mixed up with the rain and everything a bit. I decided I don't have time to change between the wheel sets, so I've got to make a choice here. So I just decided to race the 19s, American tyres, and tried the inside, but I thought it was too slick. So I started going to where all the dirt was pushed, and I wasn't the fastest, but it was definitely more driving. And so I just sat there, and that's where I felt comfortable. That every time I tried to go in a bit more, it was too skatey, and I was sort of unpredictable.
Yeah, there was that. It was positive camber that literally just went up to neutral as well. You didn't want to sit on that. Just that lip.
I wasn't that high. It was sort of in between the very bottom, and where it flattened off, there was just like a soft man, and I found if I kept the back tyre in there and the front tyre just on the harder stuff, it seemed to be driving well, and I started getting better positions, sort of 4th and 3rds and the 19s, and I used that to get around some of the old guys in the repecharge and got 5th in the repecharge, so to being pretty much at the back all day, and then to be how I got in the repecharge, I'm not sure. I don't know if it was a scoring problem or something.
Just take it when you can.
But I took it, and I got a fire lit under my arse. There was some people bagging 19s in the dummy groups that were saying, "Oh, they don't work." And that gave me motive to get around them, which I did. So
no, I just think it's. Like I haven't got the 19s at the moment, but after riding last night here, it was more of a hard pack kind of surface, and riding the 21-inch front and the 18-inch rear, I feel like this surface was more suited to 19s, and it just got me excited.
Yeah, well, you
Spoke
have to have a
Molly.
go on one of our bikes today over
Yeah.
there, see what, because I reckon 19s is pretty suited to that as well.
And just being able to lean it over more because you can, because you've got that surface area
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I was saying to Brendan, start tipping it in earlier, man. You can tip it in so much earlier. Like you bloody blip it on to max pretty much, and then when you're coming off, you just push down. And I felt like I was two-wheel sliding from halfway down the straight. Probably wasn't, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah, no, but it was good, and like, and those sort of things that makes it a fun day.
Yeah, awesome as. And so, what's the rest of the year look like for the street family in racing?
She's jam packed.
It's full, and there's more and more coming. Are you going to? Is it? How do you say it? It's by Tamworth there, the showgrounds. Corindai, yeah, next month.
I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to suss it out. But I know not Bathurst, the Hunter motorcycle track masters are on. And might go there instead because that's what the title's going to be at the end of the year. So try and get more rides in around that vicinity, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit closer as well.
Yeah.
A couple of hours.
I think we're keen to do it, but we also want to do the New South Wales titles again on the oil.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about 19s games is that you don't need to go out and buy a motor sets. You can do that. Right, everywhere pretty much. Yeah, awesome. So it sounds good. So you'll be doing the Australian track titles to defend your title.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll go to 19s eventually, or do any AFTN, or it's
I don't know
undecided?
about this year. Maybe I'd like to.
They've got a women's class now. You seen that?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. I just need to get some practice first before I go race. Make a dig of myself.
Yeah. Well, as you know,
I
we're
don't want
all
to drive all the way to wherever is
we're
Brisbane
all
or
for it.
Canada and never ride and go. Yeah, we'll give it a go and just have a bad weekend.
Yeah. Well,
Crash
here's
against
food
myself.
for thought. I'm not racing.
Yeah.
My bike, see that? My wheels, you could use even on your bike. Yeah, so there's an idea.
Bolt in straight away.
Yeah, bolt in straight away. And then you don't have to commit, you can just go and have a go.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of, so the Kelpie Cup, the first round is coming, it's actually coming very soon.
Yeah, I was
in about a week, I think it is. But
is it next week?
I think so, but we're waiting for the permit, and I can't
I
announce
thought
it.
it was. I thought it was in like
1st of
June or
April,
July
was
or
that?
something.
No, 1st of April.
Oh, so Scarlett was going to run, and then they cancelled it.
But that's now. Well, I
make it any year.
can't say because they haven't got the permit, so I can't say until I get confirmation that I can say. So we'll leave it there. But yeah, it's a little bit shorter notice than I would like. But anyway, as long as it gets off the ground, we get going.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Well, I know. I'm thinking about going to Undera next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the club championship and the track. So
Yeah,
good.
it's a cool track.
so much moisture in there and just dirt so fluffy
Yeah.
and deep as well. And you're racing at night. Race at night's always cool.
Under lights is just awesome. Yeah, it's. I think I've mentioned it before. That's my childhood memories of racing. You go and you eating your hot dog under the lights, the smell of methanol and all. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, it's cool. And like you can cruise on up there during the day.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just,
no
like,
early
because
start.
Nadura's like it's like 6 hours from my place.
Yeah, right.
So I'll leave early in the morning and sign on starts around 2:30 I think. Just cruise up there, unpack, chuck the swag back, you're done.
Yeah, sweet.
Sounds good, just things like that. And I think when you're riding at night, you feel like you're going faster.
Actually, it's funny you say that. It does feel like
It feels
that.
like you're going faster. And I think it's just awesome to race on the lights. And I just wish more tracks around Australia did it. I'd love it if Broadwood would, but I don't think that will ever happen.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, just the local restrictions there. But that's where Golden Valley might come into play. Can do underlights here. Unfortunately, not on the dirt. Well, they could probably bring some temporary ones in because they can ride till 10:30. Yeah, but so there is potential for that down the track, but baby steps.
Yeah. So cool.
just on the short track I would be happy with anyway. It's a great little track, and it's a real spectators track from how tight it is. The racing will be close.
Well, it's one of the hardest tracks to ride in the world.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's what the Speedway boys say.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and like especially like Rick Racing. Racing a lot. A lot of Speedway and dirt track.
Yeah, it's very tight radius, but hell of a lot of fun once you start getting your head around it. It's I sort of, not that we've done indoor, but I've done a few short stuff like it at home and stuff, and I reckon that's sort of the vibe I get from it. And with an actual race meeting on it, you got 6 to 8 bikes on there.
Yeah.
It's going to be aggressive and action packed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And put a show on for town, get some more money to it, local support as well.
Yeah.
And get people to know what dirt track is.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
no one knows what it is really.
Yeah.
And get the name out there, get them more riders, and then create those stepping stones for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I like you think. Sounds good.
Sounds
So,
good.
sponsors, you've got heaps. Give them a quick mention.
Yeah, I should give him a quick mention. I've got the bike there so I can look in.
Remember everyone?
Oh, yeah, so Don Chu, which is my dad, he's a mechanic. I'd like to thank Rick Heffernan Racing, Go Rider, Shannon's Insurance, Pirelli, Motul, Rick Heffernan Racing, Colin Rosewall, and the Little Scissor Shop.
Little Scissor Shop, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
Yep.
Did you say Chick Right?
Checkway? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Chickway, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon's, yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for taking the time out.
Yeah.
Not that we had much else to do anyway.
No, we just got time to kill. Might kick the footy with some of the boys.
Yeah.
There's a footy ground just
yeah.
down the road. Like literally just in the park.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I love that it's all one facility.
Yeah, it's a massive complex. They
I
got
think it's
motocross, speedway, the dirt track, and they got the netball and football club and the pub.
Yeah, and a pub. What more do you want?
Yeah, and camping as well. Too.
All right. Cheers for that. You're going to do a video, Jay? So you're number 4, Dan. Well, no, what's your number?
645.
Number 645, but he's our 4th guest today. That's what I was trying to say. Dan Leonetti, you met him a little bit at Bathurst on our last Bathurst pod, putting in a sneaky message to 22 Macau
It was pretty piss poor, but yeah.
and a snake. But you know, what inspired that?
Complete boredom from rain.
That was during the rain break.
I was going to do the same.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
And so, tell us a bit about your background, Dan.
Well, yeah, so I started riding at a little club called MCTC in Kilsyth, in East Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then from a lot of the community members there used to race at Broadford at the time, so they used to hold track days at Broadford.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so I just kind of trotted along to those until we really liked it.
Yeah.
And then I think we went for a junior development day, and they were running a Kickstart program. So Dad signed me off for the Kickstart program, and I've just been racing ever since.
Yeah. So how old were you then?
Ooh. Maybe about 11. At that
Yeah,
point.
right. And you're 19 now or 18?
18, fresh at 18, so
Yeah, right. Sweet. So, did you do bush riding in that as well? or
I've done a little bit here and there. Not as good as it used to be, but yeah.
Yeah.
I try to keep all disciplines kind of rolling the ball rolling. But
Yeah. And so you since you started dirt track, where have you been riding? Have you been travelling lots? And
yeah, so Dad and I have made 2 bigger trips in the last year, which has been Forbes for track titles and then Bathurst recently. And they've been 2 massive events that I've gone to. I've just gone, holy cow, I'm behind the ball on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just opened my eyes to how much I need to improve and what the margins are.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah. And so in our club days, you're usually in the top 5, if not on the top step, aren't you? Somewhere around there.
yeah, so senior racing's been quite good to me.
Yeah.
The first year and a bit of seniors was like in that lockdown, so I didn't have much of it.
Yeah.
But my first full season last year, I ended up winning 21 classes.
You won the Pro 250.
Oh, I came second.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought you won that one.
I ended up coming second because I DQ'd in a final.
Oh,
I got
okay.
red flagged unfortunately.
Righto. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that was on the Kelpie.
Yeah, that was the Kelpie block. Yeah, awesome.
And I actually would have, points wise, I would have won it if I actually sat up and grabbed any. So I think it was about 12 points.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so if I hadn't finished there, it would have put me over the top step overall, but it's alright.
That's alright, yeah, it's still good.
Yeah. So then I think I podiumed in A grade, Pro 450 and Pro Open, and I won one of them. I'm not too sure which one.
Yeah.
Not too sure which one, but there's, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and Dan couldn't make it to presentation night, but Cardboard Dan.
I was there in spirit. Yeah.
He was there in spirit. There was a cardboard cutout, and I believe you had a sausage, which might have been inappropriately placed. But yeah, that's that's the great thing about clubs and what racing's about. It's fun, having fun as well as that competitive side, isn't it?
I was more popular as a cardboard form than I was as
as a human
here in the flesh. That's
yeah, what's that tell you, mate? Maybe some other areas you need to develop.
Absolute crap personality.
Oh no, no, not at all. So yeah, like you said, there's areas that you feel you need to develop to be on the more national sort of side of things. What are they, do you think?
Oh, just entry speed into corners is just one thing that I really need to get a hold of. But at Bathurst, I knew I had more in me. It was that much of a quick track. I was scared, I'll be honest. I was scared. It was a quick track.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the weekend, I did feel more comfortable going quick into the corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just feel like that long track has so many benefits for me.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that we got to drive 8 hours to get right on.
Yeah. And that's, I think, things might change. I don't know, I'm probably speaking prematurely here, but the guys here, I mean, part of the reason we're sitting here today is, so last night we got to try out the short track, and today they've actually got a dirt track, which has been brought back to life. Yeah, it used to go, but then it's been neglected for many years, and so that's what we're doing here, a little bit of consulting and a little bit of testing to see what works and how they can bring it up to scratch to hold some race meetings on it. Some big potential there. So Dan's dad Adrian and I were walking around earlier and we were focusing mainly on the dirt track, and then I looked up and sort of went, you know what, you could actually make a big oval here as well and have
would be pretty cool.
A good 700 plus metre long track there as well. So that's potential too. It'd be great to have one. So if I can get a chat with Rob, it'd be good. He's saying this is in council land, they own it. So there's a lot of potential there where you don't have to jump through quite as many hoops. Obviously you've got to abide by the track laws and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think that's going to be really good, and hopefully we might get a long track in Victoria that can be permanently used.
That'd be good.
Rather than the trotting tracks, and not 5 hours away. It took me about 2.5, almost 3 hours to get here, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
That bad of a drive.
And the fact that we could camp here and everything too makes it much easier, much better. Yeah, really good. And there's a lot of potential for double headers. So you make a weekend of it. I don't know about you, but I've had a ball so far. So,
last time was a good one.
And so you had a little incident on a Burrow TT 500. What happened, mate?
Oh, okay. So it was a bit of a big start. Once it started, she went right, but has a lot of compression. I'm probably in gear, like dressed in gear. I'm close to the 90 kilo mark.
Yeah.
And I'm jumping on this thing, and the compression was that big, it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Right.
So unfortunately, with the steel shoe on the metal peg, once I got it started, I've got to go settle myself on the bike, and my foot's slipped forward and hit it into first gear. And she's taken off of me, and dragged me with her. Unfortunately, But yeah, enough about me. Just when you get Haz on the podcast, just ask him how he flipped it on the return shoot at Broady. But yeah, so.
Yeah, Hazza. Yeah, I had Hazza on the pod not long ago. He's
well, if I'm under the bus, he's coming with me.
Yeah, he's feeling the pain at the minute, isn't he? Poor old Hazza.
He
Injured, and yeah, watching us getting the ride, it's a pretty hard thing. But it's great that he's still coming out, and, hanging out and being around. And yeah, I was saying to him last night, that like when I was injured and that started getting into a bit of commentating, that helps keep you connected, that sort of stuff. So
yeah, he was out there on the camera last night.
Yeah, learning how hard that is. Yeah.
Oh, it's not easy.
Yeah,
not easy at all.
Hard being a photographer. So, major goals this year?
Get out further. Get out further into racing. Just try to get as many tracks as possible.
Yeah.
Overall speed. Just
and so are you guys going to be dabbling a bit in 19 inch as well?
I hope so. Dad's planted the seed in Dad's brain.
Yeah.
Talking about an old supermotor set that we've got hubs for our bikes.
Yeah. He's
so
on to it.
He's
I can confirm that. Yeah, you're going to be on something. But I think they're definitely finding their place in Australia. It's good to see in Victoria there's a few sets going around now. I think we're up to about 6 riders. So it's good. I think they're teasing spiders over there. This place, this is the one thing, if you're not bug friendly, you might not like it. So. The moths are huge. Is that one still down there? No.
I don't know, but
the moths are huge and the spiders are pretty big. They're friendly, like, they're not aggressive.
They can stay there, to be honest.
Yeah, they can stay there. I'm not keen either, but but yeah, I haven't had any incidents with them, so that's good. But so gonna track titles this year.
Hope so. Yeah.
Do track titles this year definitely, because that's Aubrey. Yeah, close enough. Probably no AF10 or maybe.
I'm not against it, but it's just the fact that I've just started my apprenticeship as a carpenter, so I'm not too sure if I want to go to the boss and go, hey mate, I want this weekend off, and then 2 weekends and I'm like, I need another 2 days off.
And so that's an interesting point. Your boss, he knows you're a racer, and
and I do be honest. I'll be honest. I do have a very good boss. And he's very understanding of it. He's turned around. He goes, "If you're not taking, I'm fine with it. If you're not taking every second weekend off."
What's that? Yeah, that was a spider, I think, on the stick.
That's an ugly bloke, mate. You two look alike, don't you? Let's do it, kiddies. Rightio.
Yeah, so Dan's pretty much where I am on the grounds of spiders.
You'll never see me move that fast again.
The point that, or the fact that Ty was throwing it at Dan was why I could stay seated. Yeah, you're all good. Is it time to get geared up, is it, Taylor? Yeah, righto. So, sponsors, Dan?
Positive Throttle, Wayne Sullivan from Positive Throttle. Got the hat on. Truck rod suspensions helped me out a lot. Darren's got some really good stuff. Donnie Boyer behind the camera there wants me to say Kawasaki, so
Kawasaki.
Why not? If I'll give me a bike, I'll ride it.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Kawasaki Australia?
Just try to keep it on 2 wheels.
Yeah, beautiful.
Stuart Carrick race engines. Got the motor humming. Got to keep up with all the modern bikes. Scotty Surfbikes, Bears and Ringwood. Help me out with tyres and all spare parts.
Alright, well thanks for having the chat. We're going to get geared up and go and cut some laps.
Beautiful.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
Go, Fat Trekker, go, go, go.